What is up, my cutouts? Cardboard Ninja here, coming at you with the Road to Singularity first look with the devs. They did a live stream, and hopefully you guys caught that. But in case you guys are interested in my ideas behind this, well, we're going to go over that right now. We're going to fast forward through this video, blah, 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 etc. A couple things. First and foremost, this is a problem with battle passes nowadays, and this is only getting worse. I'd just like to point this out to those of us who are unfamiliar. This is the first week of progress. That's what they show you. Each little level is actually, well, each set of levels, each page is actually a week of progress. So 1 week, after 1 week of playing this game, after you purchase the pass, you're going to have this picture, you're going to have this neat little sticker, you're going to have this thingy, you're going to have some more stickers, you're going to have 20 lighters, which are completely valueless until the end of the pass. They'll give you some random resource, 100 coins, and a couple of structural parts. That's what you get after 7 days. It keeps getting worse and worse. Now, I'm not mad at that, like, necessarily, but this is like that slowly boiling a frog thing, where they're just like, oh yeah, as long as you keep raising the temperature lower and lower, they're not going to notice. But I notice. Because, yes, by the way, these structural parts are cool, that's not really something you buy a battle pass for. Wait for week number 2, and you get nothing. In the previous Battle Pass, if I recall correctly, or at least the one that we currently have that's live, at least during week 2, I think you ended up getting the crappy machine gun. In fact, let me double check that. I'll just log into Crossout just to make sure in the background. But anyway, while I'm logging into Crossout, yeah, no, if you'll note, bunch of nothing in week 2. He talks more. Shows off the other structural part, which, by the way, is annoying because he doesn't show us the durability of that one. He shows the durability of the first one. Week 3. It was maybe it's the beginning of week 3 that we got the crappy machine guns. They replaced that with nothing for the beginning of week 3. So for the majority of week 3 in this game, you're going to be exactly the same as you've always been, with the exception of a couple of Don's children's structural parts. Towards the end of week 3, though, you'll end up getting the first actual part that you paid for in the battle pass. This is better than the current battle pass because of the fact that in the current battle pass, if I recall correctly, in fact, I'm cracking it open right now. You guys can't see it. It's on a secondary screen. I apologize. Yeah, beginning of week 3 is when we got the Gungnir. Now towards the end of week 3, we're going to be getting the I forget the name of it, Pegasus, which is the first actual item that you end up buying on Battle Pass 4. First legendary engine. I don't know how I feel about that. Only because of the fact that it's difficult to compare parts when you break that legendary barrier, if that makes any sense. Like, there were the first legendary cabins, and now you're ending up with legendary engines. So there you go. It's basically where their game is going. The stats are pretty good. It's the most durable of all engines. It is, of course, the largest of all engines. The cabin power is obscenely good. It's not as good as the Colossus, but it's obscenely good. Combining the perk with the cabin power bonus, this probably outperforms the Colossus in many scenarios. Yeah. So, this is probably going to be the new hover. The new hover engine. Period. That's what it feels like. Though the Colossus does give durability of to your hovers or any other movement part, so that will still have value. But this is pretty sick, nasty. Yeah. Oh, by the way, another annoying thing. I can't tell you what this does, yeah, because you're looking at my cardboard box head and you're like, oh, you're blocking it. Hold on a second. Fine. I can remove myself, but that actually isn't what's relevant. Oop. I can't tell you what this does because of the fact that it doesn't tell us what it does. It comes with a 17% reduced mass and 10% most of power, but the perk itself is not explained. It says, hey, reduces the total power penalty for movement parts. Yeah. By the way, it'll tell you in-game what that is. Great. All I can say is great. That doesn't help us here, because there's no way to make a definite decision on anything about it. Let's continue on forward. The new legs. So the new legs are more or less exactly what I thought they'd be. All of the subtle nerfs to the big rams, for those of us who weren't paying attention, yeah, those came out because the new legs were coming. And they have 25% energy resistance, 25% bullet pass through. They are 450 points of durability, so a little over half the dura of the ML200s, but at a decent enough speed. The perk is more accuracy when moving at all. Actually, 15% more when moving at all, and 30% when you're sidestepping. Later, this guy decides to show off the speed of the legs. 70 kph is actually not that impressive, but they are, of course, the fastest leg. All you really needed, and this is the reason why the Big Ram were so successful, is the ability to keep up with your team. That's it. That's all. If you can keep up with the team, then they're good. These are going to be good. Just because of that. Oh, also, sorry, I should go back to that right now. Also, you'll note the stats of these are actually really good. 1,600 tonnage, active tonnage, but only 467 kilograms of mass. So you'll actually be able to make lower tier spiders. Even heavy cabins will be able to make use of that. Things like that. Because of the weight to mass ratio, etc. He talks about some more stuff. We end up with multiple weeks of wasted time because you get absolutely nothing. That was one of the things I wanted to focus on. You get the legs, which is right after you get something right before the legs. I think the engine and then the legs. So you get the engine and the legs week 3, end of week 3, beginning of week 4, or middle of week 4. Because they're slowly, again, it's that boiling the frog. They're just pushing that further away. Beginning of week 5, you get the new melee weapon. The Charbidus. The Charbidus is meh. I think this is what the collision damage resistance icon is becoming. No, that's not right. This is collision damage. I don't know what this is. I couldn't tell you what that is, unfortunately. But it features 30% blast reduction. I believe 75% collision reduction. I don't know what this is. Maybe, is that penetration? I don't know what that is. I just don't recognize this. He displays this later. I'll show it in the video of him displaying it. It does meh damage. It's got 10% durability and plus 5% melee damage when you get it for free. But honestly, it has the same problem that regular saw blades have, though the increased hurt box should improve your penetration of someone's build. The problem is it's not like the saw blades. So the buzz saws in Crossout have a weird ability to strike multiple parts because their hurt box doesn't match their hitbox. That makes any sense. Their hurt box extends outside of the actual hitbox. So the idea is you can actually push into someone's build. This one doesn't appear to. So that's going to be a problem. It could be fun. There's mount points on the fronts of these so you can hide them. So if you want to. I don't know why you would, to be super honest, not yet. But more mount points are better. I think another option would be you could mount things to it. But getting in the way of the strike face is annoying. The Kronos cabin, which I believe comes the week after that. I will double check that, because that's the kind of person I am. 59 to 60. Yeah, I think that is the week after this. Yep. So literally 59 to 60 shows the new Kronos cabin. Kronos cabin. So here's something I don't like. This is the fastest cabin in Crossout. Why? Back to 105 kilometers an hour. For those of us who didn't know, 3 cabins had the 105. I think it was the cockpit, the aggressor, and one other that I cannot remember off the top of my head. I think it was 3 that had 105. Yeah, no, they nerfed everything down by 5 kilometers an hour. So everything now that has a 100 kilometer hour top speed actually used to have 105 kilometer hour top speed. And look, they're bringing it back with this new cabin. All right, so a couple things. Cabin's not terrible. It's got a low mass limit, as expected, because it's got a high top speed, which is going to mean that's going to accelerate really quickly. The perk, however, is not good. For those of us who don't recall, the debacle with the Master Cabin. They're just remaking the previous mistakes. One of the things that I said in previous dev vlog update videos was that if, and only if, these little healing nodes healed a static value and not a percentage value, then this perk would be actually really good. It really would be. But, and that's because of the fact that with lower tonnage, lower mass limit, it means that you're going to be bringing lighter stuff. So that means that by very nature, the things that are going to be attached to those nodes are going to have less hit points. So what you're going to want is a static value of heal so that you can actually heal something of value. They didn't do that. Instead, they did the exact same thing with the Master Cabin. The Master Cabin, sorry for sniffling, I have allergies. The Master Cabin heals up to 50% durability over 10 seconds. This thing heals unbelievably slowly for 30%. Yeah, that's it. Basically, it heals everything attached to the nodes for 2% every half second or 4% a second. It will only have enough charge to do this for 30% durability. However, if there is an armor car wreck in front of, please note, this is important, in front of your build, it regenerates stacks. So they don't show in this video at all how fast it regenerates stacks or regenerates charge. I just can't say. The overall idea is, oh, also the other problem is, one thing that you can do with the Master Cabin right now, and it's actually pretty fun, you can take damage and heal your guns at the same time. You can't do that here. Taking damage reduces the restoration rate by 4 times for 4 seconds. So that means if you start to heal and someone shoots you with a bullet from across the screen, does you 12 damage, it will reduce the healing of this from 2% durability every half second to the equivalent of 2% durability every 2 seconds. Which is terrible. It's effectively not healing at all. Yeah. Other than that, it's fast. I think it's symmetrical. It's a good-looking cabin. I just like the look of Don's Children cabins in general. It has semi-awkward node points, but that's fine, because the more node points, the better in this instance. But again, this lends to the same problem the Master Cabin had at its launch, which is you're healing 1%. So if you're healing 1%, that means that the things that you want to put on these nodes are supposed to have a lot of durability in the first place so that you heal more, period. Crossout is a very quick and dirty game, and you take a lot of damage very quickly. So 2% is really bad. 30% is 20% lower than what the Master heals, and the Master just has a simple cooldown. You don't have to diddle with corpses in order to produce that. The week after that, you finally get the new Thyruses, or the Thyrus. They show it off later. A couple things I want to say about this. By the way, for those of us who did not catch it, but I'm sure you did, there's a bad habit of certain video games, and unfortunately Crossout is included in this, that they nerf the weapon that competes with the new Battle Pass weapon literally right before the new Battle Pass weapon comes out. So, in the changes, for those of us who didn't notice, the Kaiju, which is the direct competitor to this, which is to say a epic level 11 plus energy weapon, the Kaiju lost 15% of its damage because they're reducing the burst length by 2. And of course, it's probably more than that because they also gave it a weapon penetration value of 55%. So the Kaiju ate a huge nerf during this patch when this weapon comes out, just so you know. Dirty Pool. It's Dirty Pool. They did this with the Equalizer and the Arbiter because they just outright nerfed the damage on the Equalizer and Arbiter by 5%. So the release of the Gungnir and the Nidhogg, or sorry, the Nothung, would be more well received. Same difference here. They're doing that again. It's got a lot of durability, as it should, because it's a single weapon. It is disappointing, to say the least, a little bit, only because they never show you what this weapon looks like in this test without charge. It only ever fires with charge, and it does 250 damage per shot. It says that it fires all barrels, but 250 divided by 4 is an awkward number, right? So I don't know if it's actually firing 4 different projectiles or if the damage value is just different. But they never show you the damage value without charges. They only ever show this weapon fired with charges. So that's something to look out for. It's got a very, very, very fast reload speed. It's basically like an upgraded version of the Astreus, except instead of the Astreus constantly damaging yourself and having a charge mechanic, this thing fires just straight away, reloads pretty dang quickly, and does 250 damage. We'll see what ends up happening. There's a lot of here because of the fact they never fire it without charge. So without charge, if it does 1/4 of 250 damage, that's going to be real bad. That'll mean that it does something like, what, 70? Yeah, that sounds about right, right? 7 times 4 would be 240. Yeah, so it does about 75 or something damage per shot without charge. That's awful. More cosmetics. And I think the last week is... Come on. It's the last week. No, I think that's it. Yeah, that's it. For the Battle Pass, you just get the ability to craft the Thyrus. Sorry for that sneeze. Have these allergies. So, try to keep that off the video. Trying to make this in one cut. Anyway, long story short, from here on out, one of the things that people complain about, and he's mentioning this right now with his voice, was we're like, hey, after you reach the end of the Battle Pass, all you get is lighters, and you don't know how many of those you get. So instead, this got extended out. He already said the answer. The highest you can get naturally with just the Battle Pass is level 128 or something like that, which gets you a free 128, which gets you a not random. You get a selected epic of your choice, and then after that, everything after 128, you would have to exchange real life US dollars for. Yep. So that's a Battle Pass in a nutshell. I am kind of meh about it. 1 second. Sorry, my allergies are really kicking in. There are a bunch of epic crafts available. If you fail to get Fused Tsunami, now may be the chance to get that with your lighters, if you don't want to use your lighters on anything else that was in the Battle Pass. Oh, also there's the relic weapon that's in here as well. Its craft costs, interestingly enough, 2 Omamori and 2 Beholder Cabins. So expect a sudden spike to the price of those items. Because I don't think you can craft Omamori anymore. Interesting. If you were looking to sell Omamori, now might be the chance. Now may be the time to do so. Because people are going to want to try that relic. The relic doesn't seem to do very much damage. But, well, neither does anything really. Most relics aren't known for their damage except for the firebugs and the porcupines, really. The Ripper damage is like 100 damage per shot, 3 shots. This does about the exact same damage, actually. They also are changing the damage balls and the damage meters, so you can actually see how the damage split goes. There's also a huge change. You can see this at the top of the screen, the side of the screen, etc. They're changing the way that the build menu looks. So if you're used to classic Crossout construction, well, it's going to get annoying, because you have 2 tabs now that'll open on the left side and the right side for you to select your parts to put in. I'm sure it'll be faster. I'm sure it'll be great. But for all of us old-timey players of Crossout who've been playing since like 2019 or earlier, it's only going to be annoying for at least at first. Though the good news is, when you're constructing, if you use the parts list, you can actually see what's on your build, and you can mouse over those parts and actually see where that part is in your build. That's upcoming. That's pretty cool. He goes out, shows off the waltz, but the important thing is the damage meter difference here is right there. It has a let me see if I can pause. There we go. It says 491 right there. The top will show you all damage that is not explosive. The bottom will show you all damage that is explosive, so that you can actually better calculate things. It's going to be good, because for YouTubers like myself, you can show off some interesting damage numbers. He's now showing off the relic. The relic is interesting. The first shot has penetration value. I think the penetration value is 100%. The second shot heats, and the third does like half of 70. It does like 30 something, and the third shot explodes. This is 2 of them simultaneously, so I'm not gonna lie, that's some pretty lame damage for 2 relics firing at the same time. The refire rate is good though, but the actual damage is not. So that seems to be a common refrain with the weapons that are coming out in this Battle Pass. You don't slap hard. That was like last battle pass or the 2 battle passes ago when you were bringing things like the Heather and the Avalanche. This battle pass seems to be doing something a little different where you don't hit very hard, but you are able to fire more often. That seems to be what's going down. He seems to really like showing that static damage off. That's not much. But again, if you look at the reload, the reload isn't super terrible. It seems to reload about the same speed as the Waltz. These are the new legs, the new cabin, and it looks as though it has 6 stacks from its engine. I don't know what that means. It doesn't mean anything. Like again, they said, oh, by the way, blah blah blah. It'll show you how much the damage, how much power reduction is fixed for you, blah blah blah. In when you're in game, no, it doesn't. As you can see, when you're in game, it just shows you the number 6. I don't know what that means. 60%, 6%. How much power penalty reduction are we getting? It doesn't say. And as you can see, he's firing off a new gun. It does 250 per shot, and it regens when you're standing next. Oh, sorry, 260 per shot. Did I say 250 this entire time? Oof. Yeah, it does 260 per shot, but he never fires it without charges. As you can see at the bottom, he never goes to the trouble of firing it without charge. So we don't know what it does. Wait, it did do 250. What? Whatever. We'll figure it out when the game gets released. Yeah, kind of underwhelming, to be super honest. It has a very fast reload speed, so there is that. So constantly slinging 250s downrange actually probably won't be that bad. Its DPS is probably similar to that of a Scorpion. Here is actually higher than that of Scorpion because it fires at least twice as fast from the video that's being displayed. This is the new melee weapon that I was mentioning, and you'll see it's kind of difficult to melee with this melee weapon. But then again, he uses against a spider build, so... Also, you'll note this number 13. He's got, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 legs, and it's giving the number 13. Is that 13% power penalty? I don't know. Anyway, as you can see, he has the standard problems that all buzzsaws have. It's difficult to hit with them. He's trying. Even though it's extended and it's much bigger than it looks before, you'll watch if you look right here, they'll shrink up to normal size, which are of course terrible, but he gets behind this build and they extend. But even this build he has problems destroying because those hitboxes, yo. Those hitboxes are just... It's going to be fun. I'm sure, by the way, just so we're clear, there are better players than I am, better players than this guy. We're going to make better builds than this, but... that was still a pretty weak showing. Let's put it that way. The Charbitus had a weak showing. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. From what you saw here, this ain't a Tony Stark weapons display. You know, you didn't see it at the top of a mountain get blown off. You kind of saw it push against a build. That's all. But yeah, that's all that's really happening in this upcoming Battle Pass. The crafts are cool. I may actually, personally, I might just get dual fused Tsunami, get back in the canon game. But other than that, new map. He shows it off. I mean, I'm all good for new maps. New maps are cool. I think it looks good. Believe it or not, though, like for as much as crap as we want to give Crossout devs, they do a pretty good job. I do agree that they do a pretty good job. Like, this is thematically cool. You've got like crashed satellites and stuff all over the place. He goes over some more crap. I believe he's showing off the penetration and how stats exist and all that good stuff like that. But yeah, so he didn't go over the penetration mechanics at all. Unfortunate. If I had access to a test server or an early access account, I'd do it. But here you are. Ooh, this is not a bad fusion for the Humpback. It's not a great fusion, but the purple fusions, from what I saw, are not perfect. By the way, they didn't show them all off, but they're not perfect fusions. They're actually all a little bit off. For example, the Humpback, you want durability. You don't want mass reduction. That's terrible. Mass reduction, poopy. Mass limit, great. Self-destruct damage, irrelevant. So basically the middle one's always irrelevant. You want mass limit and you want durability on heavy Humpback. That is all. So, how do we feel about the battle passes? Comments. Leave your rage in the comments below. I'll give you my synopsis. I kind of already mentioned it while going through this. It's just raising the temperature on a frog in a frying pan, basically. They're moving every reward deeper into the battle pass. The earliest weeks are giving you literally nothing now. I've mentioned this several times before, but the previous battle passes, the ones that get you hooked, the first hit of cocaine, the dragon that you'll be chasing for the entirety of your time playing Crossout, those are seemingly long gone. They gave us a Therm, a useless weapon but fun. Teal weapon you got early in the battle pass to dick around with. The Tempura, they gave that to us early, something to dick around with. They're no longer doing that. Battle passes are just giving it to you raw. They're just like, look, you know what this is. For the first 3 weeks, you're not getting anything. You're getting nothing for the first 3 weeks. Week 1, you're going to get some pictures. You're going to get to feel like, you have a battle pass, but we're not going to give you shit, right? That's week 1. Week 2, they follow that process. Week 3, they're extending. Originally, week 3, the beginning of week 3 is when in the previous battle pass you got the Gungnir, which of course was a worthless weapon, but at least they finally at the beginning of week 3 gave you something to play with. They're removing that. No, beginning of week 3, nothing. Towards the end of week 3, which is to say, like literally the end of week 3, the end of the 3rd week, because you with the quests refreshing, you're only going to get like these 22. You're only get to like level 22, and these 250 engineer badges, you're only going to get that much. So towards the end of week 3, you'll finally get an engine, which will be fun to have, but will not change the gameplay of anything because you're not going to be shooting any new guns. You're not going to be doing anything different. You're just going to have a different engine on some of your builds. That is all you're going to get at the end of week 3. Finally, week 4 rolls around, but again, if I recall correctly, towards the middle of week 4, which will still probably not be at the very beginning. So it'll probably be day 2 or day 3 of week 4. You'll finally get legs. Again, you're not changing what you're shooting at your opponent, and we've seen legs before. They're called Big Rams and ML200s, so it's not exactly, game-breaking or earth-shattering changes by the middle of week 4. Wait a minute. Am I stupid? Oh, no. Chat. Oh, no. I didn't catch it. Oh, I didn't catch it, guys. I caught it just now. The middle of week 4, you don't get 4 fucking legs. You get 2 legs. You don't even get to use them. Oh, shit. You don't even get legs to use. You have 2 legs, and you can't make a build with 2 legs. Because you have to wait until the beginning of the next week to get the other 2 legs. This is the frog in the frying pan shit. I didn't catch it until just now. Oh my god. Oh my god. And the week after that, you get nothing. So what is that? Week 4, 5, 6, you get nothing. Week 7, you finally get the Charbitus. And then finally, I think that's going to be the end of week 8, isn't it? Isn't it? Oh, I'm sorry. No. The beginning of week 8, you get the Kronos, which he shows off a whole bunch. Beginning of week 8, you actually get the Kronos, which is actually decently timed. And the beginning of week 9, you finally get the gun that you're buying the battle pass for. Whew. Oh my god, comments. Drop stuff in the comments below. Is the battle pass worth it? Oh, snap, I should probably bring up that in a summary. Is the battle pass worth it? I'm not going to lie to you guys. I'm going to pay the money for it. I want the guns, period. I do. I want the gun. Do I want it that badly? No. Am I going to be sad if I miss it? Not really, but I mean, it'll go nice next to the Kaiju and the Avalanche in my garage. So, yeah. Is the cabin going to be game-breaking? No. With the way it's currently set up, the cabin's actually going to be quite disappointing. To be super honest, they had this exact same problem when they released the Master Cabin. Remember, the Master Cabin was released as a light cabin, and then it got lambasted for being complete dog shit because you couldn't put a build together. In fact, I have a video on that, literally, where I break down the Master Cabin, and they fixed it. They literally did the thing that needed to be fixed, which was they increased the mass of the Master Cabin by making it a medium cabin, right? They're doing it again. They're making the exact same mistake. They're like, we want a light cabin that heals. Did we not go through this shit before? Did it not get completely and totally roasted into the ground before? They're doing it again. Again, I'll go over this very briefly right now. The problem with percentage heals is you need something with a lot of durability, or else you're not actually healing anything. Having all those nodes attached to things with 4 or 5 hit points isn't enough. Like, even if you attach it to something with 200 hit points, 30% of 200 is, well, 60. It'll heal 60 damage But how long does it take to heal 60 damage? It takes, what, less than 1 second to deal 60 damage in Crossout if you fight a shotgun? Like, a shotgun will do that in one shot, just 60 damage, right? So, it's oof. I don't know why they're doing it. They trying to do that with the cabin again, silly. So, yeah, overall, though, do I recommend the Battle Pass? If you have time to put into it, yes. You do get 4 legs. You just don't get them all at once. You do get 4 legs. You do eventually, the middle of week 3 or the end of week 3, you finally get the engine that is probably going to replace the Colossus, which is sad. Rest in peace, Colossus. But, yeah. You finally get legs. You sons of bitches. Why did I not catch that? Yeah, well, I don't know why I didn't catch that. But yeah, ultimately I'm going to get the Battle Pass. Is it as bad as the previous Battle Pass? I think it's a bit better than the previous Battle Pass, which is, of course, the one that's currently finishing up Polar Lights. Polar Lights give us access to new structural components, etc. But, hold on. Let me check. It'll be better. So here's the reason why. Polar Lights is a decent battle pass, but only because of the final thing you get in it. Literally only the final thing. The Thor. If it weren't for the Thor, I would have skipped that battle pass. That's how important the Thor was. I'm not a big machine gun player, so I don't really care about the No-Thung. The Hugin was kind of dog shit. They didn't give you enough tracks at all to actually make a complete build. Just so you're clear, you only got 2 tracks. The Gungnir is dog shit, and before that, they gave you effectively nothing. So, yes, this is a better battle pass. In general, the battle pass is better. It is a positive move. You get more guns, which is, different pew-pew firing downrange. Yeah. So ultimately, this is a better patch. I think it'll be interesting. Is it worth my money? Yes. Hopefully, it'll be worth yours. If not, I can understand. But I do know one thing. I'm pretty sure the Omori price is skyrocketing back up to 5K plus right now due to the release of this battle pass because of the relic requiring 2 Omamori to craft. And not many people will have those anymore because we're running out of them. So there's that. So I hope you guys make money in the game. I hope you guys enjoy. This Charmadus is going to be complete and total dog poo. I didn't expect this video to go on for 30 minutes, so I'm going to cut it here. Thank you all for watching my video. Like, subscribe. Peace.